Hello, welcome to my live. Today is Wednesday, the 26th of November 2025, and I'm going to be here for probably a couple of hours. And so, for those who don't know me yet, I'm a therapist and coach, and I use my free time to come here on YouTube twice a week, every Wednesdays and every Fridays from 6 to 8 p.m. UK time to take questions and talk about anything you'd like me to talk about related to mental health, therapy, psychology, human behavior, emotional intelligence, mindset, mindfulness, and anything related to how we can enhance our quality of life by upgrading the way we look at it, the way we think of it, the way we feel about it. And so the way I start my live streams is always by reading and commenting on some of my own short posts until eventually some people get the courage to ask me questions about themselves, and then we can get started with the real bulk of the live stream. And so let's get started. Here's one. The obsession to control, understand, and make sense of everything is born from a dysregulated nervous system. And so this is to highlight how so many of us, we feel that we need to control and understand everything. Everything needs to make sense. Everything is about common sense. And what people don't realize is that when we are into those states, it is because our nervous system is dysregulated. It's not healthy, it's not normal. It comes across as if we are very powerful, very in control, very, I don't know, on the top of everything, but it's not like that. It really is the opposite as far as I'm concerned. What I see are people who are desperate to have an illusion of control. And because of that, they're very mentally inflexible and it can be very, very difficult to deal with in real life. Thank you for the little heart, whoever that it is. Next post goes like this. Your inner voice is your mental environment. As long as you are being mean to yourself, you will never feel safe. And so this is about self-talk. We talk to ourselves all the time in certain ways, and more often than not, we talk to ourselves in mean ways. But what we don't realize is that our self-talk is our literal mental environment. We're creating the way we feel based on how we think, which is essentially how we talk to ourselves. And so if we are being unkind to ourselves, if we talk to ourselves the same way some people in the past used to talk to us, now we're going to feel unsafe, we're going to feel wrong, we're going to feel like that we're not enough, and we're going to lose all sort of confidence. And finally, the last post I'm going to read before I address your comments goes like this. Your body is not reacting to the present. It is reacting to the history that you have with that type of situation. So this is to highlight how the brain is a prediction machine. And our whole system, our nervous system, our body, our subconscious mind, they are designed to anticipate things based on the history of our lives up to this point. So we have created some little markers, some associations, some little labels, some tags everywhere all the time. And we react emotionally because the mind recognizes some patterns that we have had in the past. And so, there you go. Let me read the comments. Thank you for their hearts. We have Caterpillar and hello Caterpillar. Pumpkin Puff, hi Didi, how are you today? I'm very well indeed. How about you? Caterpillar, you sound like my Zenny husband. I don't know what Zenny means, but there's this, so I assume that it's compliment, perhaps. Lamb, hey Didi, I got scared at work a few years back. A minute or less, I didn't know if I caused loss of life. I didn't since been diagnosed with PTSD, anxious mood disorder. Okay, so I'm not very clear about your situation, but if you want to talk about it, I'm more than happy to delve into it. Let me try to read it again. I got scarred or scared at work. A min or less, I didn't know if I caused a loss of life. So you didn't know if you hurt someone, right? I didn't, since I've been diagnosed with PTSD, anxious mood disorder. So let's talk about this. Is it still affecting you now? Are you working on it? Are you doing something about it? And if it's affecting you, in which way is it affecting you? Caterpillar, 10 a.m., 12 Pacific. You're telling me about your time. Okay, fair enough. Here in the UK, in London, it is 6 p.m. Lem, why they won't blame it on my childhood and unlock all that when I never had problem till then in my 50s? Who are they? What are you talking about? Are you talking about therapist? Ultraviolet, hello, ultraviolet. I'm going to have a sip of my hot chocolate and then we carry on, hopefully, with more of your questions and comments. Ultraviolet, where are you from, sir? I was born in Paris, in France, where I grew up and where I had my education. My culture is French. My parents are from China, so genetically I'm Chinese. And I've been living in London, in the UK, for 29 years now. So I've spent more time in the UK than anywhere else in the world. Pumpkin Puff, I'm okay today, still in my shame hole, but I'm trying. I've been very overwhelmed, and I wonder if that's worth seeing, if that's worsening my emotions. So we can't worsen an emotion. An emotion, I mean, we can worsen an emotional state, but an emotion is just an energy that's going to get you to feel certain things, for X, Y, Z reasons. What I think what you mean is whether it's not is going to affect maybe the way you process emotions, the way you experience things. Can you make yourself more clear, please? I've been overwhelmed and I wonder if that's worsening my emotions. I can tell you, if you're overwhelmed, it's okay because life has overwhelmed at times. The problem is not if we are overwhelmed for one moment. And I'm saying this because I know that you have BPD, right? And so you have a history of overwhelm. And so you will always fluctuate for quite a while until and if you get better, if you work on yourself. We change when we've been overwhelmed for a long period of time. What I'm trying to say is that you are already there. You have BPD. So this is the symptoms of you having suffered from too much overwhelm for too long without any coping mechanism given at any time, at any point. And so what I'm trying to say very clumsily is that I don't believe that you being overwhelmed now will affect you any worse or any more than you have been already all of your life. You're just experiencing one of those downs in your daily ups and downs that we all go through. But again, if you have conditions, your downs will be much more spectacular. Do you want to talk about this? Pumpkin Puff? Pumpkin Puff, hot chocolate is so lovely during this time of the year. Enjoy, yes. It's my new daily drink because I've had some problem with my high blood pressure, and I have read that hot cocoa, organic, without added sugar, without all of those things, is actually very good. Dark chocolate is very good for anything to do with heart disease and thinning the blood. And so there you go. Caterpillar, Zen. Christina Williams. Hello, Christina. How do I secretly impress job interviewers with my body language or in other ways to get them to want to hire me within the very first few minutes of an interview? I don't teach that. There are a lot of different ways to do this, but I don't believe in that. I believe that what we want to do is to learn how to be ourselves, and we don't want to impress them. We want to find the right people. And so if you are trying to impress them, you're going to play a game, you're going to pretend to be someone else, and they will hire someone else than who you are, because we need to believe that you are that person instead of being your true, natural, authentic self. And so my advice is learn how to be comfortable with being yourself and radiate that self out so that eventually the right people appreciate that self and hire you precisely because of that self. I don't believe in all of those things. It's possible, there are ways to make those things happen, but I really believe that this is the wrong way to live our lives. We want to accept ourselves as how we are, and if we're recognized for our very self, now we're going to have a great team with whom we're going to communicate and be at the same level. If you pretend, if you try to impress them, the whole duration of your career with them, you have to keep pretending. And whenever you are not, they're going to be disappointed by you because they would expect something else from you. And so my advice to you is to learn how to accept yourself, learn how to see your strength, your talents, your skills, your specialness and uniqueness, and really showcase this. Tell them, this is me, this is what I do. And if they don't give you that job, it's okay. It means that you are not for them, they're not for you. And it's better that you actually are being told that they don't like you like that, because otherwise you're going to hate the place you're in, either because they don't like you or because you have to pretend all the time being someone else. And so, yes, what do you think about this, Christina? I know that it's not the sort of answer that you were expecting, but I have to be honest with you. I don't want to promote trying to play with people's mind and also reinforcing our own misery, because if we're not ourselves, we are going to live a very miserable life. At some point or another, we will suffer from this. And so, what do you say, Christina? Pumpkin Puff. I crashed out a few days ago. But again, there are things that I could teach you, but are not necessarily all, it's not all black or white. But we need to know you, we need to know what sort of job it is, what sort of people they are, for me, in order to give you the right sort of advice. I think, generally speaking, the last thing that I want to say about this is that whatever you do, people can capture your energy. And so we don't want to take the piece of them, pretend that we understand some protocols of NLP, we can sort of hypnotize them. It only goes so far. We are designed, or mind, and even our nervous system is designed to see and notice things in our body language, in the tone of our voice, in whichever way we're expressing ourselves, and people can feel the real intention of other people. Some of us can be masters of deceit and really be good at it, but for the vast majority of us, I think it's easier to be just yourself, because people will see through the BS. We can feel, it's like a sixth sense. We can tell, many of us, not everyone, but many of us, we have some sort of intuition, and we can tell when someone is being genuine or when they're trying too hard. Well, I hope it helps, Christina. Pumpkin Puff. I crashed out a few days ago. It was bad, and I spent yesterday dealing with the shame, but I've been feeling so exhausted all the time and I feel pathetic. I'm sorry to hear this. If you want to tell me more about this, I'm happy to support you. Caterpillar, are you Buddhist? No, I'm not Buddhist. My mum is Buddhist, or was Buddhist. She's still alive, but I'm not sure where her mind is at nowadays. But I love Buddhism. I love Taoism. I love a lot of Eastern philosophies and way of living. And so I inspire myself a lot from those systems. But I am not a Buddhist. That's the difference. I don't practice, I don't have the label, and I don't know everything about it. I am, however, very open-minded as far as spirituality is concerned. And I absolutely believe that the foundation of happiness, mindfulness is all born from those places and school of thought. And so there's a lot of good things to be said about. Even when it comes to modern psychology, we utilize all mindfulness and meditation, and those things are born from India, from China, from Hinduism and Buddhism. Pumpkin Puff. Yes, I've heard dark chocolate is very good for you and release endorphins, I believe. Maybe I need a cup of hot chocolate. Maybe. Try this. Mohammed Afzal. Hi, sir. How to deal with anxiety, fear of the future in our 20s as a university student. Okay, let's talk about this. So I have actually had quite a few comments like yours before. And so I believe that The anxiety that you have is the anxiety that you may not succeed. You may not be good enough. You may not pass your grades and have your diploma and have a career and impress your parents and fit in society and all of those things. And so you have that anxiety because you are in a place where everyone is getting you to feel like that. You have a lot of pressure, essentially. You believe that there's a part of you that believes that unless you are good at everything, you will not be accepted, you will not be loved, you will not be seen, and it's a terrible feeling to have. So what you want to do is to change that perception, perspective. You want to let go of the pressure. I want you to realize that whatever you do now is not going to determine your whole life. Not at all. It's only going to be what you're going to do now. Your whole life is an adventure, and you may succeed at the university, you may not. You may decide to do something else the next year. It doesn't matter. Your whole life is for you to explore and enjoy and discover and find out who you are and what really ticks your box, what really excites you, what really makes you happy. And so you may disappoint your parents, you may disappoint some people in your lives, you may disappoint some of your mentors. But for you to find happiness and let go of the anxiety, you must stop looking at yourself from the position of those people. As long as you're looking at yourself from their point of view, you're going to feel bad because there's a lot of pressure. I'm not enough. I don't deserve to be happy unless and until I make them proud, until I do all of those things. And so just focus on yourself. Learn how to do things because you enjoy those things. And if you don't enjoy them, I would highly suggest you to organize a strategy to redirect your life towards something that you really enjoy as much as you can. Of course, it's not that easy for many of us, but it's something that we can start working on over a long period of time. And time, you have plenty because your life is made of time. And so, focus on yourself. Don't look at yourself from the perspective of others. Look at yourself from your own perspective. What do I like? What do I want to do? What makes me happy? But I know also that a lot of people who are going through that will not listen to what I say. They will not be able to hear that because we all have our belief. And if we are growing up in a household that is very, very highly competitive, and it's all about succeeding at school and impressing people in our community, then now it's going to be very hard, right? And it's not because the system. It's not because you can't do those things. It's because the system in itself is not designed for people to be happy. We all believe that we should behave in a certain way in order to be enough, and it's not like that. And so the anxiety is that you don't feel that you will be able to fulfill all of those expectations from everyone else. And so the answer, the way for you to let go of anxiety is to no longer do anything for them. Do it for yourself. Do things because it's something that you want to do, and know that whether you win or lose, it's just an illusion. You can learn and grow from everything all of your life. And so you may succeed or you may not, it doesn't matter. Because even if you don't succeed, you will learn something out of it. It may redirect you in a different direction. Life is full of surprises, and very often some situations that may be uncomfortable in the moment, when we look back with hindsight, they're actually blessings in disguise. And so take it with a pinch of salt. Don't take any of those things so seriously if you can. We can talk about it. I know that it's not easy depending on the individuals, but really you want to realize that the anxiety is born from the pressure of not succeeding. Do tell me whether or not I'm correct. If not, do tell me. And we can address this maybe from a different angle. Maybe it's something else. Right? But just based on what you've written, this is what came into my mind. Pumpkin Puff. On the topic of my BPD, after my crashed out, I ended up just sitting, zoned out. My body just froze on me. I went silent for the rest of the day. My pets were surrounding me, trying to help. Okay. So you've got pets, so that's good, right? AAA848. What is RTT? RTT is the system that I use with my clients in my practice. It stands for Rapid Transformational Therapy, and it's a blend of hypnosis, regression, and belief reframing at a subconscious level. And so basically, we go back into the memories of the past and upgrade the emotional energy that is attached to those memories. And as I do that, we're going to change the relationship that we have with those memories that have created the limiting belief, the emotional triggers, all of the problems that we have today. Everything about life is down to our childhood, essentially. Even when we get traumatized further down the road, the way we react to trauma will be down to our lack of coping mechanism in childhood. And so we go back into memories of the past and we upgrade the quality of those memories so that in turn, now the person can let go of all of those subconscious systems that they have put into place to protect themselves from whatever happened to them then. And now they can start to look at things from a different perspective. They're no longer a child, they are now an adult. So they don't need anxiety, they don't need depression, they don't need addiction, they don't need anger, they don't need hyperfixation, overthinking, or any of those things anymore. Because now they're adults and they can deal with any of the situations that happened to them in the past, if it happened again, now, with their beautiful mind, intelligence, and intuition. I hope it made sense. If not, do ask me again, and I'm happy to explain it, maybe from a different angle. Caterpillar, exactly. Being myself is anti-capitalist and pro-environment in a family of rich big oil in-laws, trying to keep the peace and tell my truth. Okay, good on you. Keep up the fight. Katya, Sub Didi, how are you doing? What advice can you give me to get better at communicating? I have an issue to explain what I want to tell people or passing the message. So it depends. There's a lot of different ways you may be struggling from communication. So we need to know more about you. Now, the first thing that comes into my mind is that maybe you could be neurodivergent. Sometimes some of us find it difficult to communicate because of that. Or maybe you have some unhealed trauma. And so that it's preventing you also to have a clear mind. If you have depression or anxiety, if you are easily stressed out and overwhelmed, there are tons of reasons as to why you may find it difficult to communicate. But regardless of all of those things, the one thing that I could tell you is that if you want to learn how to communicate better, my best advice is for you to explore empathy. Put yourself into other people's shoes. You want to see things from their point of view, and that's how you'll be able to communicate with them better. Because until we do that, we experience everything from our vantage point of view. So it's everything about how I see it, the things that I believe, the way I think, the way I feel, the things that I expect from others. But as long as we're doing this, we are still on our side of the fence. If we can put ourselves into other people's shoes for one moment, if you can have empathy, and by empathy, I don't necessarily mean emotional empathy. I'm talking about cognitive empathy. If you can have both cognitive and emotional, it's even better. But cognitive empathy means essentially putting ourselves into other people's shoes. Now we can see things from a broader perspective, and it's easier for us to find the right tone, the right words, the right thing to say. But Katja, if you want to tell me more about in which way you find it difficult to communicate, that would be very helpful. Let me think. Just based on what you said, I don't think there's anything that I could add. How do you communicate better? By listening to them, so which is the same as having empathy. Listen to them. When you think about talking to someone, you're having a conversation, when they tell you something, listen to what they're saying, as opposed to thinking about what you're going to tell them. So we often do this. We're all highly wired and ready to answer and to interact with people, and everyone is stressed out, and we want to let go of this. I want to create some space and be cheered so that we can fully process what they say and we can observe them, pay attention to the body language, pay attention to their voice, pay attention to their facial expressions and all of those things, and listen to intuition as well. And if we tell you a lot of information about them, if you are good at it eventually. Yeah, there are tons of things you could do, but essentially put yourself into their shoes and learn to listen to them instead of preparing what you're going to say it back to them, which we all do. I hope it helps. Thank you for the little heart. Caterpillar, thank you, Caterpillar. Winter short. What about social anxiety? What about it? I can talk about it if you want. I need people to construct a sentence so that I can understand where we're coming from. Social anxiety is just two words that can mean many things for many people. And so when you have a social anxiety, it's because there's a part of us that don't feel safe in a social setting. So our radar is signaling us that there's danger. We believe that people are watching us. They know that we have a secret and they're going to expose us to everyone. So that could be one of the ways we can explain social anxiety. But I would need more about you if you don't mind. If you can tell me, what do you call social anxiety? How do you experience it? How does it express itself in your life? And so that I can maybe direct you more precisely. Pumpkin puff. It felt like I reverted everything I've been trying to fix. So you often say this, I remember, and it's how you're going to feel all the time. But you're not, because you know that you are working on yourself, you know that you want to change, you have some awareness of all those things. And so you're never reverting. You are going up and down. But if you can zoom out, you will see that you're going up and down in that direction. I want you to do this. See yourself as such. See yourself like going on a seesaw motion, but on the way up. So when you go down, it feels that you're down. I'm reverting. I'm regressing. I've ruined everything. It's all rubbish. Now, you're just going down and you will go back up. And every time you go down, it's going to be a little less down. And every time you go up, you're going to be a little bit more up. Look at it like that. Reframe how you see yourself. You will always have ups and downs. I have ups and downs. We all do. This is called life. It's normal. And so what matters is not how we're feeling in this moment. What matters is what we're going to do the next moment. And as we're doing this, we're able to go further up and create more acceleration in that direction, eventually at some point. Thank you for the heart. And so I felt like I've reverted everything I've been trying to fix, like switched into someone else, but I was just ... so enraged by everything piling up and misunderstanding, feeling like I am the problem. So yes, so yeah, what I'm saying. Just reflect back on it and think, you know what? It's my BPD. It is getting me to experience this and feel this. And so it's okay. I'm working on it and it is getting better. Eclipse, message retracted. Lamb, please. I had a relapse this year and going into detox next week for 16 weeks. I'm sorry I keep hitting enter for new line. Sorry. I don't mean make no sense. Do you have view on EMDR for therapy? Try this. I don't know much about it. Some of my colleagues do this, and I know that it's one of the systems, along with RTT, that are very, very popular and work for a lot of people. And so it's for you to find out whether or not it's going to work for you. There are many protocols out there. There's not one single system that works for everyone, but there's at least one system that will work for you at this point in time in your journey. So for you, it is for you to find out what is out there and talk to people, see if you can feel a connection with them and see if they can help you with that. I'm not sure about EMDR for addiction, though. Generally speaking, EMDR is more often than not connected to trauma. Now, I understand that trauma is the cause of the addiction as well, so it depends which way you want to approach your problem. Pumpkin puff. Is my learning point for life supposed to be how to live with my pain and conditions, but always feeling like I'm never enough? Sorry for my typos. No, your point in life is to experience everything. And so at this point in time, you feel shit, you feel rubbish, you feel terrible. It's your experience now, but it doesn't mean that it's your point in life forever. That'll be a terrible life. Your point in life is to experience this so that at some point, when you get better, you can reflect on that and you can think to yourself, oh, I'm so much happier now. Everything is about contrast. And so for us to appreciate the good stuff, we need to have been through the bad stuff. And so the more bad stuff you're going to go through, which is what happens with BPD, the more happier you're going to be once you heal. And so that gives you an extra incentive to heal, right? People who are happy, they have everything, Life can be easy for them, but they don't really realize how good it is. When we've suffered a bad start in life, now when we get better, everything is amazing. It doesn't take much for us to be happy. People who have had everything, they need some things to make them happy because they don't know what it is not to have what they have. But the truth of the matter is that we will all experience some contrast throughout our life anyway, in some capacity. And so what it means is that we all have some problems of some sort, even if we don't look like. Everyone has different types of problems to deal with. Even people who look beautiful, healthy, rich, young, or whatever, successful, famous, they have their problems just as well as anyone else. Eclipse means like embarrassing memories of that memories that you don't want anymore. You help us to get out of the loop. Am I right? Let me try to understand that comment. I don't. I may have missed something because it seems like you are continuing something else, and I'm not sure what you're referring to. Embarrassing memories that you don't want. You're talking about RTT. I'm not sure. I don't understand. Sorry. I don't address people who have. I don't address the embarrassing memories. I address the memories that have created the belief that are creating all of the problems that we have now in our adulthood. I hope it makes sense. All of our problems are originally systems that we have put into place ourselves when we're a child to protect ourselves from whatever is happening to us then. But because we have not upgraded the program, it has gone out of control, out of work. It's all over the place. And now it has become a problem in our lives. And so things like, again, anxiety, depression, addiction, anger, low self-esteem, overthinking, all of those things and more, they are originally designed by us to protect ourselves from life and the world. And so addressing the memories means addressing the memories when we have created those beliefs, those systems, so that we can tell our younger self, I don't need those systems anymore. I'm good now. I'm a grown-up. I have my wisdom, my knowledge, my resources as an adult. And so I don't need those emotional energies to protect me anymore. Hope it makes sense. Pumpkin Puff. I just don't understand why I am here. I'm not a good person. At least I don't feel like I am. You're here because you're here to find out why you're here. You don't need to know. You are here on a journey to discover, to explore. You don't need to know at this point in time. You will know as you discover, as you become who you're meant to be, all throughout your life, more and more so every day. You don't need to have a label. You don't need to have an ID to show people this is who I am. Your life is to experience the whole of it. This is what it's about. I'm not a good person, so you would think that, I understand. If you have BPD, I used to hate myself, so it's totally legit, totally understandable. But there's no such thing as good or bad people. There's only good or bad actions within a context. And so within a context, we will come across as a good or bad person, depending on the context, to some people, right? But no one is inherently absolutely good or bad. Even Adolf, even though we know that he was a terrible human being in the context of humanity, he had a very good relationship with his mum, with his wife, with his friends, with his dogs. To them, he was an amazing human being, but not to a lot of other people. And so know that you are not like absolutely a bad person. You just have habits that get you to do things, to react in certain ways that are affecting other people negatively, but it's not because of you. You didn't choose to be like that. Your BPD is the result of your own trauma, the things that happened to you. And so you're the victim of your past, if anything. So again, in the context of other people, you are a bad person. It's highly possible. When you do certain things, I was a horrible human being myself when I was suffering from my BPD for so many years. But know that there's a part of you, there are many parts of you inside of you that wants to come out and remind you that there's a lot of good things within you. So if you can learn how to change over time, you'll be reminded that everything, all of those habits that are making you come across as a bad person, you can override them over time. You can absolutely upgrade your program and change those habits and stop reacting the way you do and stop perceiving the world the way you do. It's possible. Juan Decimo, what is your opinion on the World Economic Forum and current world events? It's a very broad question. If you give me a specific question, I'm happy to answer. I'm not sure what to say. My opinion on the World Economic Forum, I don't know. I don't think that there's one opinion about the World Economic Forum. I believe that we can only talk about a country in relation to another country. Perhaps we need to create a context. Mohammed, sir, I will follow all of your advice. Fantastic, thank you, Mohammed. But sir, can you use easy English wording and a little bit clearer because I'm from Pakistan and English is my fourth language. All right, okay. So I hope that you understood what I said. If not, ask me again and I will slow down and I will do my best to use maybe as simple terminology as I can, as simple words as I can. English is not my first language either. It's my fourth language as well. Actually, no. I used to speak Cantonese, French, Italian, so yes, fourth, and a little bit of Mandarin. But now it has become my first language because I've been living in here, in this country for 29 years. Katja, thank you. Katja, thank you for answering. I do listen to people, but I start the communication issue when they start getting invested in the discussion and they try to understand what I'm saying. Okay. So again, I'm not sure in which way it is affecting you. If you can find a way, and I know that your problem is communication, so it's going to be much more complicated here. But I start the communication issue when they start getting invested in the discussion. So I still don't understand how it's affecting you. Do you find it difficult to say words, to be eloquent? Do you find it difficult to put thoughts together? Do you have anxiety? Maybe we could start with that. Communication is a skill. I'm going to be honest with you. Some of us have it easier than others, but if we have a history of anxiety, stress, or any type of mental and emotional condition, it's going to be something that we have to learn. I've learned how to communicate, and sometimes I'm still not able to communicate the way that I want to. I still say some things that are wrong. Again, because my English is not my first language. So sometimes I say S or not S at the wrong time. I put things in the wrong order. It still happens, and it buggers me. But I'm doing my best to stay zen and expand my mastering of the English language. But it is a skill. It is a skill. And so maybe, do you spend a lot of time speaking to people? Do you find it easier to talk to some people than others? Or do you find it difficult with everyone? If you can tell me that, that could be a very good information to have. Winter Shorts, can I have advice for social anxiety? I need advice for how to stop thinking people are talking about me and hate me for something I said. Okay, so what you want to do is to challenge your own thought. You have social anxiety because you just said it. People, I believe that they're talking behind my back, they're judging me, they hate me for something that I said. You are creating that conversation in your own head. So challenge that. Ask yourself, is it true that everyone is talking behind my back? Everyone hates what I say? Is it true that every single person in the world hates what I say? It cannot be possibly true. You believe that because it's a habit. Yeah. Maybe you've been hurt in the past. Maybe you've been taught and told that everyone is bad and you must always be ready for the bad people because they're judging you. Everyone is judging you. So whatever it is, you want to challenge that thought. And you want to realize it's not true. It's not true. Maybe some people may be judging me, but not everyone. Maybe some people may have some negative idea about me, but maybe not as bad as I think they do, because everyone have got their own worries about themselves. And so they don't think about you nowhere near as much as you think they do, because they are worried about what others think about them as well. And so I realize that on one hand, we're all into our little bubble of thought. And so we exaggerate how we think people are thinking about us, first thing. But also, we tend to be quite negativity biased if we have had some hurt in the past. So we need to, our mind is going to protect us by saying to us, oh, they're probably plotting against you. So that you are ready against them, but it's just paranoia. It's not true. And even if it was true in some capacity, you want to realize that it doesn't matter. What other people think or say is just a projection of their own ego, of their own reality, of their own fears, insecurities, and expectations. And so whatever people think or say don't matter. I want you to realize that when they think things about you, they're only projecting their own stuff on you. It's got nothing to do with you. And the reason I know this is because most of us, we don't know who we are. So what it means is that if they don't know who they are, and I know this because we come into this life to find out who we are, right? And so if they don't know who they are, how can they know about you? They don't know who you are either. So what are they judging? They're not judging you. They're judging, again, a projection of their own selves. I hope it makes sense. Change the dialogue that you have in your head. And, but also change the perspective. Instead of thinking, what are they thinking about me? When you do this, you are putting yourself into their shoes. Shift it around and see things from your own perspective. What am I going to do? Who am I going to talk to? Where am I going to focus my attention in this moment? As opposed to what are they thinking? Instead think, what do I want to do? What do I want to think? How do I want to feel? What really matters to me? Choose better thoughts, better intention, so that now you are no longer hijacked by their perspective. I hope it makes sense. Does it? Do let me know, please. Endocrine. Hello, endocrine. Lamb. I'm worried about EMDR, unlocking abuse and opening doors closed too long, maybe forgotten by self-medicating 30 years. So if you're worried about this, don't do it. Only do things that feels right to you. Again, there's not one system that works for everyone, but there'll be something for you. So it's for you to find out what makes sense to you. Read up about what sort of protocols are out there, and then talk to the practitioners and see if you can have some sort of emotional connection with them. And if you feel that they're the right people with the right system for you, go for it. EMDR, just like anything else, is just a tool. Right? People that are using the tool is what matters. Pumpkin puff. Oh, okay, good to be reminded that I am caught up in feelings like I'm revolting when this is just part of life. Yes, I just don't like the feeling. I like to think progress is forward, not so many setbacks. Progress is not going forward. Progress is being okay with feelings that are not well, that are not good, that are not comfortable. This is what progress is. Progress is not about avoiding pain. It's not about avoiding hurt. It's about accepting that we'll go through pain, all of us, all throughout our life, but it's okay because it's only temporary. It only lasts a moment. And what matters is what we're going to choose to do the next moment. And so healing is not going in a place where we're never going to be hurt. Not at all. It's the opposite of that. It's accepting that we will always get hurt in some capacity. But it's okay because it's not going to destroy us. We can survive this. It's only for a moment. And we can get back on our feet and learn from that lesson and organize things so that we can minimize our exposure to hurt in the future. But even if we have changed a lot of things in our lives, we will still have hurt. It will still happen. We still feel sad, we still feel fear, we still feel anger in some capacity, and it's okay. Because those emotions are there for us to help us explore life and us in this life. And so, yes, change the way that you look at healing and progress. The progress is not about feeling better all the time. It's learning how to organize your life so that you can feel better more often than not, in the knowing that you will still feel hurt every now and then, and it's okay, because it's not going to last. And you can always learn how to become better at minimizing the hurt. Hoo-ya-yup. Hoo-ya-yup. Hey Didi, hope you are doing well. I wanted to ask what to do when you have nothing to do. I have PTSD and BPD, waiting on some document and replies regarding school, work, moving, etc. So I have nothing to do and live by myself, and it can get gruesome in my head all day. I don't have much money to take myself out on dates or go in a trip or stuff like that. Okay, so if you have nothing to do, you can learn things about yourself. You have internet, you're seeing me right now, right? So you have access to YouTube. YouTube is a world of information. And so if I was you, I would find out about PTSD. I would find out about BPD, and I would learn about myself. I would learn about how I can maybe bring some new elements in my life that can help me feel better about myself. There's a tons of things that you can explore. First, you can subscribe to my channel if you haven't yet, and come to my live, and we can talk about it every week. I come on YouTube live twice a week, every single week. Every Wednesdays and every Fridays from 6 to 8 p.m. UK time. So you can keep coming and keep chatting with me. And also watch my videos and watch other people's videos and learn about yourself. Spend time to discover mindfulness, perhaps. This is what I would do. Learn about growth mindset. Learn about how to optimize your quality of life, knowing that you have this baggage to deal with. Right? And so that when you meet those people who are going to help you, you have a step ahead. And also, aside of self-help and self-improvement, what you can do is to enjoy yourself. Do things that make you happy. Not everything needs money. One of the things that I love the most is to walk in the park. I've just been out for half an hour before the live. Now I need a break. Walking in the park, having some fresh air, just walking or meditating or staring at the trees, the birds. Just that is perfect. I can spend my life there. I don't even need to. I have my music or my audiobooks, but sometimes I just need to be there. I don't even need to listen to that. And it costs nothing. And so there's a lot of things that you can do that make you happy. You can learn how to, again, practice meditation and mindfulness, something else. You can do it online. There's a lot of things you can learn. I don't know. Yeah, spend time in nature, listen to music, watch some films, some videos, some documentaries, some things that you enjoy. Tons of stuff that you can do. Go to the gym, exercise, socialize. You may have some friends that you may spend time with, do things with them. I don't know. There's so many things you can do that don't require money, that can make you happy. Especially nowadays with everything being online. Look, you have access to me. You have access to a lot of other people. You just need to look in the right places, right? Survivor. Hi, RTT is super expensive. Why is this? It is about 3 times more expensive. I need trauma-informed therapy, but not sure this is worth the cost. Kathy. It's not always expensive. Some people are more expensive than others. I am expensive, right? I'm going to be honest with you. I've been doing it for a long time. I'm very specialized. And so this is reflecting my level of skills and experience. But I know some of my colleagues that are not that expensive. And so what I would say for you is to check out on the internet. I think you can go on the RTT website. They have a lot of new practitioners. And everyone who is new, they tend to be much cheaper. And so try with them. However, if you believe that they're not good enough, it's okay. It's just a system. If you don't find someone that is doing RTT that you can afford, try something else. We all have different ways to heal, and all routes lead to Rome. And so it's for you to find out, to go through your own journey and find out, right? But if you really want to do RTT, I would suggest you to go on the website. I haven't been there for a long time, but go there, and I'm sure that there is some sort of directory with a lot of them. I used to be there. I don't know if I'm there anymore because it's been such a long time for me. But there's a lot of people there who are new, and I know that a lot of new people, they even do it for free. When I started 8 years ago, the first month, all my sessions were free. I was fully booked, like 5 people every day for a full solid month. And I think I continued even the second month. And so you can find people who are cheaper or even maybe free who do RTT. Seek them, right? But some of them are more expensive than others, and I am one of them. I'm sorry. This is how I see my worth, and so this is what I apply in my own life, and I teach that to people as well. But RTT or anything else is not necessarily more or less expensive. It's just that people are going to decide how to price their services based on how they feel what their worth is about. Yeah. Bossy Truffy. Hi, dear sir. Hello. Helen, what's an RTT therapist, please? It's a type of hypnotherapy. It's like hypnotherapy on steroid. It's a system that Marisa Peer came up with a long time ago, and she has taught us, so many of us, how to do this now and to help people fix their problems through the process of hypnosis by changing some of their subconscious belief, triggers, and unheard, unresolved things, trauma, wounds. Lamb, please. Trauma psychologist and psychiatrist suggesting EMDR for PTSD, anxiety. I've had bad experiences with trauma reprocessing. I didn't look for the drugs. I had been abstinent 8 years, relapsed in May. So yes, again, it's for you to go through your own journey of discovery, self-discovery and healing. But I want you to know that it's not like it's not that you have failed. You have been on that journey, and as long as you keep going, you will expand your mind, you will learn and understand more about yourself and find out about more protocols out there, more books you can read, more people that you may follow, people like me. And eventually things will start to become easier, and you may find at some point something that really works for you and helps you. Then. Just keep going. It took me 38 years to get out of my own hell. And I really didn't believe that it would happen. My whole life, for 38 years of my life, it was a shithole. It was terrible. But I've changed. And if I was to tell you my own past, most people don't believe that. And it's not just me. Many of my clients, many of the people that I know, it's absolutely possible to change, no matter how bad we seem to have it. I used to be addicted myself. I was addicted to Class A drugs and alcohol and a lot of other things up to the age of 38. And now I'm super teetotal. I drink hot chocolate without sugar, without milk. And I'm feeling very, very happy and healthy and good. But it took me a long time to get there. Pumpkin Puff. I really want to upgrade my mental program and bring out the little child in me that wants to live. I just feel like I have absolutely no idea what I'm doing and I'm just an imposter. Yeah. This is how we feel when we have BPD, sadly. Lamb. As much as I want sobriety back, anxiety spiking about going to residential rehab is stupid when I know it's what I want. Try and see what happens, right? I'm going to be less honest with you. Those sort of things don't really help. It helps only for a fraction of the people. So I don't want to take that away from you, because you could be part of that fraction. But I know so many people who worked at the Priory, which is the one of the most famous rehab clinic, private clinic in London. And the success rate is like 12%. There's still a success rate, so this is important. But what you want to do really is to, instead of being in a place where you won't have access to drugs and alcohol, you want to really address your subconscious belief and emotional triggers that are creating all of your problems. If you go in those places, it's like if you go on holiday. Let's say you go to Spain or wherever, Caribbean, and now for 1 week or 2 weeks, whatever time you're on holiday, no problem. Happy, no anxiety, no addiction, because you're in a different place. But when you come back here, all of your triggers will be triggered back again because of whatever you're doing, but because of whatever is reminding you of that. And so you want to address those triggers. And even if you go on holiday, you may still have the addiction. What I was trying to say is that if you go in a place where we need to suppress everything, you will only address the habit of action, not the habit of thought, not the habit of emotion. So you may not have access to drugs and not need it because you don't have it, it's not there. But at some point, when you are back to your normal setting, you will have access to it again. And if you haven't upgraded your habit of thought and your habits of emotions, you will go back there. AARAA said hi. Hello. Katya, I find it difficult to order my thought, especially when the person is invested in the discussion. And yes, I have an issue with some people, and I have it easy with those I have spoken with enough times. Okay, so it's a matter of trust. It's a matter of anxiety. But the anxiety is to do with you trusting the people. Right? So this is what you want to address. You want to find out why you find it difficult to talk to people. Do you have some trauma? Do you have some divergent? Those are the sort of things that I will look at. To me, the way that I see it, just based on what you said, there are parts of you that needs to feel that you can trust someone before you can relax. Until that happens, as soon as they're invested, they're listening to you, they're looking at you, they're expecting something from you. And because of that creates pressure. And if you don't trust them, it's going to be even harder on your nervous system. Your mind's going to be all over the place. You won't be able to articulate your thought. With people that you know, it's easy, no pressure. You feel safe. And so, do you have any history of mental health conditions? Do you want to talk about this? Mohammed, sir, I am a Bachelor of Computer Science, 5th semester, 3rd-year student here in Pakistan, and also learning a full stack development. But my aim is to go to developed countries like the UK, etc. How? How? I don't know. I'm not the right person to ask how to do things in regards to your specific goals. You have to ask people who know those things. All I can tell you is how your mind functions, how you can feel better about yourself, how you can see things from a different perspective so that you can have an easier and kinder life. That's what I do. How are you going to develop countries like the UK? I haven't got a clue. This is a whole different type of conversation, right? Katie. Et Didi, parle-nous un peu en français. Oh, Katia is French. Didi, speak to us a little bit in French, is what she said. Je te passe le coucou de l'Algérie. Merci d'avoir répondu à nos questions avec tant d'enthousiasme. So she's saying, I'm saying hello from Algeria. Thank you for answering our questions with so much enthusiasm. Thank you so much. Merci, Katia. So yes, okay, great. I love it. Hello, Algeria. Win T-shirts. Thanks for your advice. I will definitely try to listening to your advice. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. Call me Didi, not sir, please. Pumpkin. Oh, so am I screwing myself over by trying to stop myself from experiencing more pain instead of just being okay with sitting in the dark? You're just overthinking, and it's normal. Learn how to practice mindfulness. Right? Do this. Learn about mindfulness. There's a book called Mindfulness that I can suggest you. Right? I'm sure you may find it online. And it is by Danny Penman. Just 1 second, please. By Mark Williams and Danny Penman. It's called Mindfulness. It's a green cover with some sort of stuff going like that. And basically, it's a book that explains how meditation and mindfulness work from a neuroscientific perspective, how it affects the brain. And by the end of the book, the beautiful thing about it is that you have some pre-recorded audio meditations. So if you get the audio book, it's all there. If you buy the physical book, there must be some sort of link with some PDF you can download and you'll find the recording somewhere. And basically what it is, it's an 8-week course of meditation. You read the book first to understand what it's about, and then once you understand, once it makes sense to you, and once you have motivation to want to meditate, you just listen to this recording over 8 weeks. That's it. And after 8 weeks, if you have done it every day, your brain will have started to change already. So just do that. Focus on that. Focus on let go. Stop overthinking about all those things. I know that is what we do, right? But have an active focus on something positive and constructive that will help you heal better and quicker and faster. Lam. Oh, SBR, hello sir, what is RTT? So if you want to know what is RTT, I need you to replay that video because I've talked about it already, I think 3 times. And what I do, every single one of my live streams, I leave them to be replayed on my channel. So it takes about a few hours for YouTube to fully upload it. But by tomorrow morning, you will find on my channel, if you have subscribed, on the live sections, all of my live streams, including that one, so you can replay it. Right? RTT is the system that I use to look after my clients, and it's a very powerful system to address any mental and emotional problems. Antonia, what are the things that give you the ick? I don't know. I used to have plenty. I'm having less and less. I'm learning how to be more grounded and less reactive. So there are less and less things that are giving me the ick. But there are still things that do make me angry. I don't have anything in mind, really. They're just happenings. If I see injustice, if I see people who are being cruel, if I see people who are being hurt, those things are going to affect me, of course. But what gives you the ick? I think you're referring to like my pet hate. I don't have any pet hate. I don't think I do. Or at least not anymore. Elena Gaspar, I watch all of your videos and find them so relevant. Thank you. Thank you so much, Elena. The Northern Chap, what is an RTT therapist? So it's me. Again, if you're really interested about this, by any means, please do replay that video when it's available to be replayed tomorrow morning. Lam, yes, thank you. I valued your view is all. I'm worried by saying, no, I look non-compliant. I haven't worked 2 years. I get stressed, CBT and ACT. I lacked DBT and mindfulness, radical acceptance, kind to self-harm. Okay, keep going. Things do get better eventually, as long as you keep going. The Northern Chap. As was I, do you have an email to contact? You want to contact me? If you are looking to work with me, there's a link to my website on my bio. So just go to my bio, click the link, and you will be able to send me an email from my website. We can organize a free discovery call and talk about your problems and whether or not I can help you. Thank you for the inquiry. Sashani Kiperovics, hello. Hello, Pumpkin Puff. Should I read a book about BPD or PTSD to understand more about how my brain functions? You can do this. You can do this. But I've given you a recommendation already. So follow that one for today. Right? That will take you 8 weeks. Mindfulness. Finding Peace in a Frantic World is the subtitle. No, the subtitle is A Practical Guide to Finding Peace in a Frantic World. The Northern Chap. I need to address the underlying mental processes that give rise to unhealthy behaviors. Get it. Thank you for your attention. I see your videos frequently and I think your content is great. Lots of wisdom. Thank you so much, the Northern Chap. I'm glad you appreciate it. Chiller's Day. Any tips on stress? So it's a big topic. What do you mean by stress? How do you get stressed out? What are the patterns? What triggers you? Stress is just, in and of itself, stress is not something bad. It's the stimulation. With the right amount of stress, this is how we grow. Too much stress, now we're overwhelmed. And so when we talk about stress at a colloquial level, it's this. So just 1 second, please. My watch is telling me that I must post my last TikTok post of the day. So just bear with me, please. 1 second. Compliments only feel wrong when you believe that you don't deserve them.
Bills I counted.
Oops. Okay, just 1 second, please. Compliments. Okay, it's out. Thank you. So let's get back to where we were. Tips on stress. And so when we talk about stress, colloquially, we mean the stress of life, working too much, having to take the tube full of people who are angry and miserable. So this is the stress. And so stress is something that we allow ourselves to experience because we believe that it is normal. And so as long as we believe that something is normal, we're never going to question this. We don't have to stress. No one needs to stress. Now, some of us are on a survival mode. They have to stress because we need to survive. They have 3 jobs, they have 5 kids, they are single parent, any of those things. So for them, they'll be in a state of survival. I'm talking about everyone else. Many of us, we don't need to be stressed out. We allow stress because we believe that we must react to the world. We must allow for our boss to give us all those things to do that we know we'll never be able to do in time. And so, first thing that you want to do is to realize that you don't need to let stress in. You can learn how to leave things where they are. You don't need to react to things. You don't need to get involved in everything. You don't need to take more than you can take. And as you do this, you realize that stress was just an illusion, and we all fall into that illusion because whichever we look at, everyone is stressed out. So again, it is normal. It doesn't have to be normal because it's normal for a lot of people. Doesn't mean that we have to anymore. And so create boundaries, realize that a lot of things that you do, you don't have to do everything. Do what you can, do what you enjoy, and just go along with the process, and you'll be all right. So this is what I'm saying just based on what you said, right? Any tips on stress? But if you can give me more details about what you call stress, we can explore it in more depth, more precisely for you. Lamb, I respect your man and value your words and time. Thank you so much for your time. You're a good man doing this. Thank you so much, Lamb. I'm glad you appreciate this. Again, keep coming. Right? I'm coming here every week, twice a week. I'm more than happy to chat with you every single week. The Northern chap, did you do one-to-one? Yes, I do. I'm a therapist. This is what I do. It's my day job. I'm coming here with my free time to make sure that I spread a little bit of love out there. It's my way to give karma some payback. So that's what I do. But I am a professional and I do this all week long. So if you want to work with me, again, there's a link on my bio to my website. You can send me an email from there and we can organize a free discovery call. I work on Zoom, so everything is online. Sashan Nikki Perovics. I sometimes dream about what I have done at work on the day. I wake up with fear. Is this stress? Yes, stress, anxiety, whichever way you call it. You have some unresolved issue, you have some fear, you have some apprehension about your life, about people, about what you're going through, whatever it is. And so we can talk about it. What you mentioned, they're not the problem, they're the symptoms of a problem. So we want to find out what is the problem. But yes, stress is stress, anxiety, overwhelm, depression. There could be all sort of reasons as to why you have those nightmares and you keep on thinking about what you've done at work. You could be also neurodivergent. Many of us, we replay things from the day obsessively because it's the way our brain functions. And so if we're not in a happy place, if we're overwhelmed, but we exacerbate that aspect of our brain. Pumpkin Puff. Yes, I found the mindfulness book. Fantastic. But it's definitely something I've been trying to work on, but I've been struggling to start. Thank you, fantastic. So do this, Pumpkin Puff. For the next 8 weeks, whenever you tell me about anything, I will ask you, have you worked on the book yet? Have you studied the meditation program yet? Lunaries, I enjoyed your shorts and subscribe. Thank you. I appreciate your support. Thank you for great content. Thank you so much. Lion Zion Official, Joe Coy. I don't know who is Joe Coy. Lamb. Yes, cool. I settled in now. Was worried I don't type fast enough to make sense. It's okay. Pumpkin Puff. I will focus on the one part for now and not try to overcrowd my plate. I appreciate your recommendation. Fantastic. Thank you. I'm coming to the end of the thread for the first time tonight. User VV9 said hi. Hello, Chrissy. Tennyman, what is RTT? Okay, I'm going to answer one more time because there seem to be a lot of new people. RTT is a blend of hypnosis, regression, and belief reframing at the subconscious level. It's the tool that I use within my practice with my clients. And we address all sorts of things: depression, anxiety, trauma, addiction, self-sabotage, low self-esteem, imposter syndrome, procrastination, OCD, I said trauma already, phobias, and so much more. Anything to do with mental and emotional blocks or unresolved conflicts and problems is what RTT does. Lion Zion, what channel is about? This channel is about mental health, it's about therapy, it's about psychology, it's about understanding human behavior, understanding what happens in our mind, why we behave the way we do, and how we can enhance our human experience by upgrading those machines, which is our mind, our head, our heart, our gut, our belief system. Isabelle Allemand, greetings from South France. Bonjour, Isabelle. I can speak French. I always speak English, but if you type things in French, I can always translate if it's easier for you. Chrissy Teneman, heart emoji, thank you. Let me have a sip of chocolate. So that's it for now. Any more comments or questions, guys? I plan to stay here up till 8 o'clock. Unless it's very, very quiet, in which case I will come back some other time and resume my day doing other stuff. Chiller day. Sorry I was gone. What were the tips for stress? You can replay this, right? If you have missed it and you want to find out, I'll leave all of my live streams to be replayed on my channel. And so again, YouTube takes a few hours to upload them, but by tomorrow morning, you can replay the whole live stream. And so if you are really interested into that, all you've got to do is to subscribe to my channel and come back tomorrow morning and play it. And it's all there for you. Lam, please. I think stress can be avoided by looking at the situation from a different angle, but when I'm stressed, I forget. So there's a lot of things to say about stress. You are dealing with a lot of things. So for you, it's going to be different. I was talking about people who deal with stress, but don't necessarily have some baggage. If you suffer from addiction, you are dealing with a different type of stress constantly. The very addiction itself is there to help you let go of the stress, let go of the anxiety, let go of whatever is overwhelming you, the physical discomfort. Lion Zion, emotional control is important. Inhale must be more than the exhale. So let me correct you on this. We cannot control our emotions. So understand where you're coming from. Well, I think what you mean is emotional intelligence is important. Yeah. Emotions are an energy that we feel in our body. They carry information. We cannot control emotions any more than we can control an energy. When we try to control our emotions, which is what people tell us to do, what we end up doing is to repress them. And so now that energy is being trapped in our body and is going to become toxic over time, it's going to affect not only our mental and emotional life, but also our very physical health. I've just created a long video on YouTube and I posted it today. So check it out if you want. It's called Emotional Intelligence is a Game Changer. It's literally an hour long ago that I've posted it. It's my weekly long form video and it's about emotional intelligence precisely. And so if you have time, it's 10 minutes long. Go and find out. I think it's not too bad, but it's rather good, as in concise and explanatory and practical. It's a very simple and practical video to introduce us to the idea of emotional intelligence and how we can elevate our emotional intelligence and change our life accordingly. But emotions cannot be controlled. I think what you mean is learning how to have a better relationship with our emotions, which is very different. Inhale must be more than the exhale. It's the other way around. So I'm not sure if you are legit or if you are a troll, because when we are breathing to reset our nervous system, the exhale must be longer than the inhale. If you do that, if you inhale more than you exhale, now you can go, you're going to hyperventilate. You're going to switch on your survival mode. You're going to get into a panic attack. And so if you do it on purpose, it's very, very nasty. It's very naughty from you. It's very unkind. It's not welcomed. And I hope that it was a genuine mistake. If I find out that it's not, I will just have to get rid of you. And so, yeah, there's no point to do any of those directions, right? Pumpkin Puff, if you don't mind me asking, when did you discover you had BPD? During the pandemic. So I've been diagnosed with bipolar in my early 20s. And I thought that was all that I had. I didn't know much about mental health. But then I became a therapist. I learned more about it. I helped a lot of people. But I was still not able to realize that I had other stuff myself. And it's only through the pandemic that I was able to reflect and realize that I also have BPD, ADHD, and CPTSD. All the signs are there. And everything made sense. Everything was so crystal clear and limpid from that point onwards. And so, yeah, relatively recently. And we found out that my husband is on the autism spectrum. Chrissy Tennyman, your shorts have already helped me so much. Fantastic. Thank you so much, Chrissy. I'm glad they have. Chris Hilton, what's BPD? Borderline personality disorder. It is a personality disorder. And so there's a lot of emotional dysregulation. It affects our relationship. It affects the way we see ourselves, the way we see people, the way we experience reality is different when we have BPD. We're very insecure, we take everything personally, we're very explosive, very irrational, very over the top. And we are terrified with being abandoned. We're terrified of not being seen, of not being loved. And so we are going to split, and everything's going to be either black or white. People are either amazing and we love them to death, or they are terrible, they must be destroyed. It's very, very extreme. And I guess to have some behavior that can be absolutely toxic to people. And I've suffered from that. And I made a lot of people suffer for 38 years because of my own BPD. It's a very, it's part of the cluster B personality disorder in which narcissism also is part of. So we are not far away from people who are narcissists. The difference is that we're not doing things for the same reason. Narcissists are hurt and they need to be grandiose and to feel loved and feel special and better than everyone else in order to cope with their own trauma. Whereas us, we create all those problems because we're desperate for love. We're desperate to be seen. It's a very different energy that drives our actions and also reactions and feelings and behavior. Mellow Monkey. Hey man, just dropping in love. Thank you, Mellow Monkey. Galactic Spirit Warrior. Why does my inner critical voice get loud and aggressive whenever I attempt to ponder and dream about a new life, a good life, and how I can go about it? It gets loud and it gets mean, real mean. So if you have an inner voice that is very mean to you, that is resisting you thinking about a better life, it's because this is how you've been talked to when you were younger. Probably your parents, your teachers, your caregivers, they were not very kind to you. They used to put you down a lot, and their voice is still echoing in the back of your mind. And you believe that it's your voice, but it's not. It is their voice. So there's a part of you maybe also that believes that you don't deserve the good things in life. You don't deserve to be happy. You don't deserve to be in a better place. So now that voice is going to come and remind you of this because of your belief that you don't deserve those things. So what you want to do is to address those limiting beliefs. You want to remind yourself that you are just as deserving as anyone else. So it's a process, it's different for every one of us. But you want to basically find a way to address your own limiting belief. I want you to realize that that voice is not real. It's just a recording from the past. And so you can learn how to talk to yourself in a better way. The real resilient ready. Does it help with narcissistic abuse / being raised in a narcissistic family? I was the scapegoat, black sheep. Does it help? No, it doesn't help. If you grew up in a narcissistic family or dysfunctional family with some narcissistic people, you are probably traumatized. You probably have some conditions. You may have BPD, you may have CPTSD for sure. You may have all sorts of different problems because of what you have to go through. So it does not help at all. No. If you're the black sheep, then you have a lot of baggage. I'm sure that you're aware of this, and I'm sure that you've worked on it. Have you? We can talk about it if you want. Shahin, hello, hello. Someone called Star Label Wild, I'm going to get rid of. Hide user on this channel. Okay. Again, I was surprised that I haven't had any trolls just yet. But anyone who's going to say any offensive, derogatory, racist remark, they just zapped out. No hesitation. Let's move on. Melly, hello. The real resilient ready. Me too. It's rough. Chris Hilton, bipolar disorder, cool. Must be good getting a diagnosis. You're cool, dude. Well, it is good, but back then for me it was slightly different because the way it went about and because I didn't get any help. I was still suffering from that, and things got worse for me from that point onwards for, I don't know, more than 20 years. But it's true that when we get an official diagnosis and we are having access to some help, it is a great thing to have, indeed. Chrissy Tennyman, OMG, my brother has BPD, bipolar, and a few more. I'm going to recommend your channel to him. Fantastic, yes, please do so that he can ask me questions directly and genuinely come here to do this. That's why I get rid of the trolls, because it's very important for me to create a safe space for all. Chris Hilton, wow, I think I've got it. Thanks for being here. You are describing me. Okay. Lam, please. My closest friend for over 20 years has BPD. When I stopped working, she came to see me. We fell for each other. I didn't know she was splitting. I couldn't argue with her. I walked away. I got no contact. Discard, hurt. Yes. People with BPD are very problematic. It's difficult. I mean, we suffer from this as well, but everyone else suffers just as well. So if you are having a relationship with someone with BPD, it's very important to understand the condition, because otherwise there's going to be a lot of hurt. It's never because of you, it's never because of them either. It's because of XYZ. And understanding that bigger picture is how we start to heal and make sense of things. Chris Hilton, thank you. It's always been very difficult to love myself. It's never too late or too soon to start to learn how to do this, though. Pumpkin Puff, I didn't realize that BPD was close to narcissism. Just that we desire love versus needing to feel special. That makes a lot of sense, actually. Yeah. With BPD, many of us we end up exaggerating things, lying, big ourselves up because we want to impress people. But it's not because we want to control or manipulate them. It's because we are desperate to be loved by them. So we may need to control. We may end up. I used to manipulate and control a lot of people. I was a terrible gaslighter. Of course, you don't know this. It's just what you do in order to survive. But I didn't do it. I didn't find satisfaction manipulating people. For me, manipulating people was the only way that I knew how to make sure that they will not turn their back on me. So it was still manipulation, but it came from a different place than narcissism, which for whom is just about controlling people and feeling superior and better. I never wanted to feel superior. I just wanted to feel seen, loved, accepted. Mishko, thanks and blessings. Thank you, Mishko. The real resilient ready. I have all the same diagnosis as you do. How to cope? You get started on your journey of healing and self-discovery. It's a journey, so take it one step at a time. If you don't know where to get started, subscribe to my channel and keep coming to see me. Again, I'm here twice a week, every week, and so talk to me and we can unfold things more and more so week after week if you want. Mellow Monkey, I am still working on some questions to ask you. I just don't know where to start. Okay, don't think about it. When something will come up, then bang, go for it. Sam VH. And so I'm going to get rid of Sam VH. That's it. I'm just hiding them from the channel, so you're still able to see me, I think, but we can't read any of your comments anymore on my channel, which is a great thing to do, a great way to do this. Pumpkin Puff, my father is a narcissist, desperately tries to feel like he's better than everyone else, to fuel his ego. I just desire to be seen as myself, not as who I show people. Okay, so that explains why you have BPD, right? Like my mum is narcissistic as well and has BPD just as well. Lamb, I keep tight circles. Losing her felt like trauma. While dealing with trauma, I never felt as helpless as her calling me a liar. When I told the truth, I just wanted my friend. I know now it's gone, but it broke me. Okay. Sarah, hi from Canada. I love your videos. Thank you, Sarah. Pumpkin Puff, exactly. It's amazing to hear you say the same things that I was typing. I'm proud of you, Dee. All right, thank you. Thank you. Pumpkin Puff, hopefully you'll be proud for me one day too. I'm proud for you already. So here's the difference. I'm not proud of you. I'm proud for you. I'm proud with you. And you should be proud of yourself. It's me being panicky, but I appreciate you being proud of me. I know what you mean well. And I'm proud for you. I'm proud because you are doing your best. You keep coming every week, and it is something that you are doing. Not everyone does that. And so it shows an intent. And I believe that as long as you keep going, things will get better. And even if you don't keep going to my videos, to my live stream, I believe that your mindset is such that you want to find a solution. So as long as you keep doing it, you will find it at some point. Chris Halliton, I'm proud for you too, Pumpkin. Yes. Thank you. So yes. Chocolate. It's hard to be proud of myself, but I appreciate your words, Didi. So you can be proud of yourself. The thing is that you find it hard to be proud of yourself because you believe that you must do some specific things or reach a certain place in order for you to be proud of yourself. And it's not like that. Change that. Change the idea that you need to have done something to be worthy. You don't. It's an illusion. You are worthy. You are born worthy. You are born special. You are born unique. You must appreciate that we're all different and we come into this world and we bring something just by us, just by virtue of us existing for being ourselves. And so don't believe that you need to do something in order to be worthy, in order to be proud of yourself. Just be proud of who you are as a human being. You're a survivor, you've made it up to this point, you know that you want to be better. This is a quality. This is something to be celebrated. Chiller Des, did you study philosophy? No, I didn't. I did a little bit when I was at school. I had some interest into all the old miserable Germans. Nietzsche, Schopenhauer, people like that. And then I kind of disconnected because it didn't work for me anymore. Now, if I'm going to appreciate philosophy, that would be Eastern philosophies. So I do appreciate any kind of Eastern school of thought. I believe that there's a lot of, not just Eastern, also all the ancient tribes, ancient civilizations. So also, I don't know, I'm thinking about Native Americans, the wisdom of the Australian Aboriginal people. For me, all those kind of ancient civilizations, they all have a lot of wisdoms. They still work now. For me, this is where wisdom and truth lies. Everything that's been done after that, yeah, we go back to the roots, and all the good stuff, I believe, were written in those places and times. Pumpkin Puff, you are living proof that it is possible to heal and grow like a lotus flower. Yeah. I never saw myself like a lotus flower, but thank you. Yes, it's possible, absolutely. No matter how bad it is, no matter how long we've been suffering, no matter how bad it feels, like it's nothing is ever going to change, it is possible. And this is what I always say. Nothing is guaranteed in life, but everything is possible. And possible is good enough. I used to be in very dark places for such a long time. Again, bipolar, BPD, and also drugs addiction. I was homeless on and off through my childhood. And so I've been through sort of very rough times, very dark times. I had a lot of very toxic encounters in my life, many, many times, a lot of trauma, a lot of violence and hurt and of all sorts. And so it's really a miracle that I somehow am the way that I am. Very often I think about the things that happened to me and I'm like, it's someone else. It seems so far away from me. But yeah, no matter how dark it is possible for every single one of us to change and get better. Pumpkin Puff. Also, you take me as someone who loves to learn but was never a fan of school. Okay. You were never a fan of school probably because you're overwhelmed by your trauma. And so when we have a trauma brain, we can't focus. We can't behave in the way that people expect us to behave like. And so school is always going to be a problem. I couldn't focus on anything, again, ADHD, but also just trauma brain anyway. Because our brain is constantly seeking for some sort of emotional safety, so we can't focus. I would find it impossible to even stay awake. I remember literally falling asleep. I had to struggle, and I would end up sleeping every time. Not just because I didn't sleep at night because of my own problems, but also because I can't sustain the attention. My brain has been too effed up, and so I have different ways now to do this. But back then, I didn't know, and so all my time at school was not a very good experience. Pitika, hi, thank you for your videos. I love your voice. Thank you. It's very soothing. How to differentiate ADHD from trauma? So sometimes they can work together, right? So it's not this or that. ADHD is the way your brain functions. It's partially genetic and partially environmental. So basically, when we have ADHD, we have a hypersensitivity to life. But if we are exposed to trauma and we have ADHD, now all of our symptoms are going to skyrocket. Trauma, it can be very similar to ADHD in many, many ways. Because when we have a trauma brain, we are constantly in a state of hyper-arousal and hyper focus. We are looking at everything, scanning our environment all the time. So we can't concentrate, we can't do anything. We're also very easily emotionally dysregulated. We overreact, we take things personally. We interpret a different version of reality. And with ADHD, it's not that ADHD does that, but if someone has got ADHD and had some adversity to deal with, they will be more hurt by the adversity and they will react in the same way as someone with a CPTSD brain. So there are a lot of overlaps. And that's why very often people misdiagnose ADHD or CPTSD. And also in both cases, there's a lot of low self-esteem. And it's not because of the ADHD. It's because when we have ADHD, we can't function the way society expects us to function. And so people believe that we're stupid. People believe that we're lazy. People believe that we're not trying hard enough. And so that destroys our self-esteem. And as a result of this, the way we see ourselves is very low. There's a high rate of people who unalive themselves with ADHD because all their life we've been told that we're stupid and lazy, and there's nothing we can do unless we understand our condition and we work on it within the right environment, with the right help. And so The low self-esteem will also be a result of the CPTSD. Very often with CPTSD, we need to create a sense of identity. We need to believe that the things that are happening to us are also because of who we are as a person. We're going to develop some sort of shame, and as a result of this, we're also going to have a very poor self-perception. So yeah, lots of overlaps. I don't think that we can differentiate ADHD from trauma. What we can do is to address whether or not someone has trauma and whether or not someone has ADHD and whether or not someone has both, because sometimes we have both, like I have both. They're called comorbidities. This is one of the reasons as to why there's so much confusion as well. A lot of people, they're thinking, oh, I've got this, no, I've got this, no, I've got that. But maybe we've got more of those things all together. We tend to think in a very linear way. It's this or that. And sometimes it's this and that and that and that and a little bit of that just as well. And so, yeah. Why are you asking me this? Do you believe that you have either or both or someone that you know? Pitika? Nelly, bless your heart. Okay, thank you, Nelly. Mellow, if you have several issues that are all tied in together, where would you suggest you start on the beginning journey? You start at the starting point. You address the entry point to your problems. No matter what you are dealing with, no matter how big the pile, the mountain of shit that your life is, no matter how bad it is, there is an entry point. You can't deal with the whole of it. It's impossible. So as long as you look at it, you're going to be overwhelmed and you won't be doing anything. But if you can find an entry point, what is the one thing that I can focus on? What is the one thing that matters the most to me in this moment? What is the one thing that can make me feel a little bit better about myself in this moment? Just that. Focus on that. And tiny little thing, just keep going, baby step. And eventually, as you do that, it's going to be very slow. Not much is going to happen, but it is still an entry point. And at some point, as you do that more and more, there will be some acceleration. There will be some expansion. You'll be able to see more, realize more, and then your journey will start to really get to the next level. But whatever situation that you are in, you want to find your entry point, whatever it is. So it may be seeking help with therapy, but also it could alternatively be you looking after your physical health, maybe looking after your diet, looking after your sleeping habits, looking after your exercising, moving, going out, spending time in nature, having some sun in your face in the morning if you can, those sort of things. Socializing, they're very important. They make a huge, huge difference. Whatever it is, find something to do. So for those who don't have access to therapy, you can address your lifestyle. And eventually you could also address your environment. Make sure that you hang out with the right people. Don't hang out with people who are putting you down. Hang out with people who understand you and see you and want to help you. And so, the advice that I can tell people is look after your physical health. Eat well, sleep well, move. Just that. There's a lot of work to do. But just that will start to make you feel better. And as you feel better, you'll be also able to think better. You'll be able to think more clearly. And eventually, you'll be more able to know what is your next step in regards to your healing journey. But just that, going to the gym, going to the park, eating well, so important. You can learn so much. Learn about gut health. Check this out. Gut health for mental health. And sleeping. And drinking water. Those sort of things. Basic stuff. Just that is a full-time job for so many of us. Lamb, please. I don't blame BPD. I wish I'd done better to show I would stay and treat her right. BPD is misunderstood. I'm hopeful I hear from her. But she doesn't remember me the same. Now BPD wants to protect herself. Okay. It's complicated. Novus. Got the magic. I don't understand, Novus. It's not very offensive, so I'm going to give you a chance. Hopefully it's just a joke. Let's see. Petika, do they need a different approach? Yes, absolutely. So again, we need to find out what it is. But with ADHD, we want to understand the nature of the ADHD brain so that we can organize a lifestyle that supports how we function. Right? ADHD in itself is not a problem. The problem is that society is not designed for people who have ADHD. And so if we are trying to force ourselves to be normal and to fit in, what a lot of people do, now we're going to suffer from the ADHD. So we want to understand that we have some qualities and we have some limitations just as well. So what we need to do is to be doing the right thing with the right people in the right environment. If we do that, sorted. Now, CPTSD or PTSD is a whole different thing. We need to have some therapy. We need to address our nervous system. We need to address all of those subconscious emotional triggers that are creating so much problems for us. Pitika, thank you. Thank you, Pitika. Chris Hilton, wow, so much sense. 60 years for me to be here together now, all of us. Okay. Khalil me, hey, oh. No, I thought it was someone else. Martin Lace, thumbs up. Okay, cool. Sarah, the hardest time for me in the day is morning time. Okay. Do you want to talk about it? Novice, I pray to Osiris. Okay. Why not? Osiris, Egyptian gods, Horus, I know. Well, that's pretty much it. Khalil me, how can I be myself again? I feel I have a lot of thoughts that isn't mine, and it made me feel lost not knowing what I really want, if it's from my inner self or it's from my environment. Okay, so it's a good question. Sometimes we're overwhelmed with information and we're not sure if those thoughts come from us or from the pressure that is outside. So it's very simple. Listen to how you feel in your body. Your body knows. If you feel good about something, if you feel excited, then it's your gut telling you that's the right thing to go. But if you feel some resistance, but it's not. You know what? I think it's going to be better if you can give me some example. Can you give me some example of some thoughts that you have so that we can determine precisely how to deal with them? It's too abstract. At this point in time, I'm not really sure what we're talking about. A lot of your thoughts don't belong to you. A lot of our thoughts are just the continuation of the things that we've been told, that we've heard a lot, and we're just like replaying the stuff in our mind. But what matters is not so much which thoughts are mine originally or not. What matters is now you start to create a system that is your system. So the way that I function, I need a question with a problem to solve. If you can give me something specific, some bullet points, then I would love to have that conversation with you. Khalil. Martin Liz, why does the brain drop out at some point feeling intense emotions? Sometimes we're overwhelmed, so it's a system, it's a protection mechanism. When we're on a survival mode, we can fight, flight, freeze, fawn, or flop. And so when the brain drops out because of an intense emotion, it's freeze or flop. It's one of them. But basically what we're doing, we are stopping everything because back then in the past when we were a child, some things happened to us and we understood that that system was the best system for us to stay safe then. And so we have not upgraded that program, and as a result of this now, as an adult, when we're going to experience intense emotion, the brain is going to remember the system that worked for us then, and it's going to freeze. Right? It's like dissociation. We're disconnecting from that moment, that place, that event. We're not here. I'm not seeing East. I don't want to get involved. I'm switching off everything. I'm shutting down my system in order to stay safe. Because I can't fight, I can't flight, and so I'm going to freeze. Or I can flop. Flop is the extreme version of freeze. Everything collapses. But it's a defense mechanism from our evolutionary system to survive. Now you can change this. It's possible to change any aspect of ourselves in some capacity. So it depends. How bad is it affecting you? Novice. I have CPTSD and autism. Being alone in nature helps. Okay. And mothering my cat and plants. Okay. So you found something for you. Very good. Right. Yeah. When we have autism with CPTSD, it can be really, really, really hard. And I know this because my husband has has had trauma and he's on the autism spectrum. And I can see how it has affected him. The need to make sense of things and to have an idea of control is exacerbated. So I'm glad that you have found nature. Nature is a fantastic thing. Nature, animals. So you talk about, do you have a cat? Yes, you have a cat. So we had dogs and yeah, animals, trees, fresh air. Those are fantastic for anyone, but especially more so if you have CPTSD and autism. Having said that, you don't want to limit yourself to that either. You may be able to connect with some people who can get you so that it's not just you and the cats and the trees. It's not about life necessarily, but we are designed to connect with people. And so it's very important for us to interact and engage with people for our brain's health and our whole self. When we interact with people, our subconscious mind understands that we are doing this, and so more things are going to happen in our system as we do this. But connecting with people doesn't mean connecting with a lot of people. We just need to have a handful of people with whom we can be ourselves, and that will make a huge difference. I hope that you have someone. If not, I would suggest you to maybe explore this in a safe way. I saw some little hearts. Thank you, whoever it was. Martin Liz, thank you. Lam, please, I'm not being difficult with treatment. I can't deal with goals. If it's small, I'll get out of bed every morning easy. If I made it a goal, I stay up at night worrying about getting out of bed. So this is self-sabotage. Sometimes many of us will experience this if there's a part of us that wants to protect us from the unknown, then it's going to sabotage all of our attempts at changing. And so if you know for sure that you need to do something, maybe there's a part of you that doesn't want you to do this because it doesn't know what it is to be better. So there's that as well. My point here is for you to realize that there's nothing that you do that is because of you. There's nothing wrong about you. When we behave like that, it's because there's a part of you that wants to protect you, and the way it's doing it is by preventing you from changing. So it's not that you are weak, it's not that you're inferior, it's not that you are lazy or any of those things. It is that there's a part of you that is very, very protective of you, and that's the only thing that it knows how to protect you, by keeping yourself away from the things that you want to change. If I've never been happy in my life, I'm going to believe that happiness is not available to me. And so if I come too close to happiness, it's going to protect me from it. Like love, if I believe that love is not available to me because I never had any love in childhood, then it's going to be very difficult for me to have a romantic life because I will have such a low self-esteem of myself, because my mind will keep on telling me I'm not good enough, I'm not lovable, I'm ugly, I'm stupid, I stink, or whatever. I'm too fat, or I'm not worthy. Peteka, what is the most effective way in your experience to deal with dissociation? We need to know the person. It's very specific. There's not one hack that addresses dissociation. We're all different. It's about addressing the subconscious blocks that we have, the subconscious triggers that are getting us to end up dissociating. So the way that I would do this, based on what I know, is to use the tools that I use. With RTT, we do this. We utilize hypnosis to go back into the depth of your subconscious mind to find out why you are dissociating now. What happened to you in your childhood that you had then to dissociate in order to feel safer? And when we can retrace back those memories, We can then change your relationship with those memories. And as you do that, you won't need the command of dissociating anymore. So this is the work that we do at a subconscious level through the process of hypnosis. That'll be what I use. Now, if you don't use RTT, if you don't use therapy, I will still need to know about you. What are the patterns? Do you have any patterns that get you to dissociate? Could you tell me that, please? Fudu. Movement is good for getting out of negative channel. Thank you for this evening. Yes, thank you. And yes, movement is very important. Even when we are being overwhelmed by panic attack, by anxiety, or depressed, a lot of negative thought, moving, standing out, getting out of the spot where we are is what we call a pattern interrupt. We're stopping the train of thought. We're actively shaking, disrupting our train of thought by moving our very body out of the spot. And that is where everything starts. We need to move. Instead of staying in the dark, sat down or lying down, you want to put our jacket, go out for a walk, take some fresh air, listen to some music and walk. And just that will snap us out of that state of overwhelm, anxiety, panic attacks, depression, overthinking, worrying, catastrophizing. Kawaii girl, hello from Iraq. Oh, hello. Ahmed, missed you, bro. Look so pretty. Thank you for saying that I'm very pretty. pretty. Chadwick, hi, I'm new here. Can you introduce yourself? Yes, I'm Didi Khan. I'm a therapist and coach, and I'm here to help people who have mental and emotional problems. Petika, make the unconscious conscious. Yes, so this is something that we do, that we talk a lot about within the RTT circle. This is what Marisa Peer, the founder of RTT, basically teaches us to do. But it's all obviously borrowed from Jung, I think you say in English. But what we want to do essentially is to realize that everything about our life is governed by the subconscious mechanisms that we put into place in childhood. And so in order to change things, the part of Marisa Peer would be to change the associations we have with certain things that are part of a program. So what we want to do is to make the familiar, so this is where I get it mixed up. We want to make the familiar unfamiliar, and we want to make the unfamiliar familiar. So maybe you said it was not directly to do with your quote, but the quote that you're talking about is Jung. But it's similar. So melodrama boy, I'm gonna get rid of you, I'm afraid. It's a page that I use to help people, so you have to be kind. I will not tolerate this, I'm afraid. So hide user on this channel, bag. Let's forget about that guy. John Wick, I've read that already. Viraj Purohit, you have a very cool vibe. Thank you, Viraj. Doc Beep, hi from USA. How can RTT break the pattern of getting hooked into a push-pull dynamic with someone who has BPD traits? Okay, so if you are hooked by someone who has BPD, you have your own baggage, because for someone to be allowing someone like that into your life, it takes a lot. And so what it means is that probably you too have had a difficult childhood, but it didn't affect you in the same way as the person who has BPD. You believe that you maybe can help them. Maybe that person is reminding you of your mom or your dad, and by being with them, it's your way try to fix the past. A lot of codependent relationships are born like that. People who are with people who have BPD, they have their own chip on their shoulder. People without any baggage would not tolerate someone to keep being toxic to them over and over again. If we allow this, it's because there's a part of us who believe that this is what we like, what we deserve, what we want, what is available to us. And so the RTT will help you if we work together for that. If that's what you mean, you find it difficult to not be hooked by someone who's got BPD. If that's correct, I would work on finding out why you are attracted by those people. What excites you about them? What is it that you find somehow positive or attractive about them? By exploring some memories of your past. And we found out that there are some moments in your past that where probably, again, you suffered from some situations and you're trying to somehow maybe fix some situations of the past by recreating the same sort of scenario now. And a different way to look at it is that whatever happened to you in the past would have created a sense of self. And so the way you see yourself is based on what happened to you. And so if you believe that because people abused you or take advantage of you or manipulated you or were controlling in the past, it means that this is what you deserve. This is who you are. This is the only sort of people that are available to you. And so now, because of that sense of self, you begin to go out in life. And as soon as you see people who remind you of a sort of energy, the same sort of familiar energy that maybe your mom or your dad had then, now you can be attracted by them because your subconscious mind believes that this is your kind of people, this is who you deserve. So there are many different possibilities, but those are some of them. And through the process of RTT, we found out, because as you go through the memories of your past, you will know and you will tell me exactly what happened and why you feel why you feel the way you feel. Yeah. This is the beautiful thing with RTT. There's no hit and miss because we know what happened. All the systems that we suffer from, we put them into place in the first place. And so I just need to ask my clients as they go through the session and they tell me everything that I need to know. So, yeah. Joe Wick, can you put your mic closer, a little bit low on sound? Guys, can you? I've got the mic, so I'm not sure. Can you hear me well, everyone? I'm saying this because sometimes I can attract some weird people, but I want to make sure that the problem is not on your side either. Can everyone hear me well? Because if you can't hear me well, maybe the problem is on your side. But thank you for the feedback anyway, and hopefully people will confirm that it's okay. If not, then I'll do something about it. Otter Cuddle Puddle, what if you are the BPD? What do you mean by what if you are the BPD? The BPD is a condition, so we can't be a condition. It's not an entity, it's not a person. Khalil, yes, doctor. I'm not a doctor. I think I chose the wrong major and stayed in it too long, despite my yearly hesitation. Now I'm afraid of making choices, and I doubt whether my desires are really mine. So if you doubt, you know that it's not yours, right? If it was yours, you wouldn't doubt, you would know. It would feel right. So maybe it's time for you to change things, jazz it up a little bit. Jenna, what if they are your dad or someone you have to tolerate? You don't have to tolerate anyone. You don't have to tolerate your dad. You don't have to tolerate your mum. You don't have to tolerate anyone. The only one exception is if you have kids and you are the sole parent, then you have to look after them. But even in those situations, if you can't do this, seek help, and some people may do the job better for you. But we don't have anything that we have to do. Our belief makes us believe so. But if someone doesn't treat you well, why would you stick with them? It's because of the belief, if I don't stick with my family, I'm a bad person. And it's just a belief. Don't allow them to gaslight you. It doesn't work like that. You deserve better. Martin Liz, what is your experience? What is in your experience the best way for emotional self-regulation. There are tons of things, so it's a big topic, and I just realized that it's 1 minute to 8. And so what I would like to do is to come back. I will come back anyway Friday, but if you can come back, then we can continue our conversation then. Right? Um, so if you haven't subscribed already, please subscribe to my channel. I come live every Wednesdays and every Fridays from 6 to 8 p.m. UK time. I'm going to be here Friday, and I would love to talk about the best ways for emotional self-regulation. Then, Pumpkin Puff. Thank you, Didi, again for our chat today. You gave me a bit of a positive push today. I hope you have a good evening. Thank you so much, and the same to you. See, this is my watch telling me that it's 8 o'clock. So I'm going to read the last comment very quickly. Khalil, I'm torn between pursuing psychotherapy, starting over after years in programming, or even moving into filmmaking. I have many interests, and I'm confused about which path is genuinely right for me. Come back Friday and we can talk about this if you want. Petika, what's your opinion on body-centered therapies? I read a very interesting book recently, The Body Keeps the Score. Yes, by Bessel van der Kolk. Very important book. Friday, we can talk about it. Lambs, please. I got to walk out front in daytime, mentally aware how simple it is. More is physical tightening of throat and can feel heart beating, shoulders tense, body creates so much discomfort. It wins. Friday, if you can come back. Galactic Spirit Warrior, thank you, Petika, thumbs up. Khalil, yes, we can hear you, sir, fantastic, thank you. Lamps, please, perfectly here, fantastic, thank you. Petika, hear you well, thank you. Dog Beep, thank you. Do you conduct online session? If so, how do we contact you? Thank you for the inquiry. Yes, I do one-to-one, it's my day job. And so if you're interested in using my services, you can find a link to my website on the bio. And then from there, you can send me an email and we can organize a free discovery call. Fudus, I think the mic is fine. Thank you. Otter Cuddle Puddle. Okay, the person with that condition, I was responding to the push-pull question. I don't have a diagnosis, but I'm concerned about it if I have it. Come back Friday and we can talk about it. Because a while ago you were spot on. You told me to look into emotional intelligence because when confronted, I go quiet or overboard when protecting my children. You're right. What is emotional intelligence? Check my video. Just today, this afternoon, I've uploaded a long form 10 minutes video on YouTube about emotional intelligence. So the title is Emotional Intelligence is a Game Changer. And on the thumbnail, it's written, what is emotional intelligence? And so if you want to know what emotional intelligence is, this is precisely what you need to watch. Do check it out and let me know how you think about it. So again, it's my last long-form video that I put out this afternoon on my channel. Fudu, BPD, are those people allowed to make legal decisions or should their mental health provider assist? Let's talk about it Friday if you don't mind. Lamps, please. See you Saturday morning, my time. Okay, fantastic. Thank you. Martin Liz, thumbs up. Lamp, please. Thank you, Didi. Petika, thank you. Sloan Wolf, just found you today. Thank you kindly. Thank you. Lamps, please. Appreciate you. Thank you. Karinami, thank you. Thank you to you. Sloan Wolf, Friday. Yes, Friday. I understand. And Henrik Muller, hello. So, guys, thank you so much. Let's continue Friday. I love you all. Look after yourself. Remember to do your best to be kind to others if you can. But if you can't, at least try your best to be kind to yourself. Okay? Bye for now. And see you Friday. Bye-bye.